Welcome to a bonus edition of Behind the Mic with AudioFile magazine. I'm Joe Reed, and today it is our Earphones Roundup. AudioFile's Laura Rossi is joining me, and she is going to talk about 3 audiobooks, all of which are Earphones winners. Hello, how are you, Laura?
Hi, Joe. I'm doing really well. I hope you are as well.
I am. It's spring. I'm happy. We're going to be talking about a book you've listened to, a book you are listening to, and then what is next on your list to listen to.
Yes, Joe.
Let's start with the book you listened to already.
So, in honor of graduation season and all of us being students of life, the title I listened to was Make Magic by Brad Meltzer, read by Brad Meltzer.
The famous graduation speech.
Yes, this is one of the, I'm holding up quotes, best commencement addresses of all time. It's been shared millions of times across social media. This is Brad's speech at the University of Michigan. He was the commencement speaker for the class of 2024. Brad's son attended U of Michigan, and so did Brad. And he does a wonderful job narrating. He has just a great, solid author's voice, but he also infuses it with his pride as a father throughout.
It really was a wonderful speech, and then he made it into a book, and it basically is the speech. It's very short, correct?
Yes, Joe, this entire audiobook is 24 minutes long.
Everybody has the time to listen to it, and I can't encourage people to listen to this enough. It's wonderful, and Brad Meltzer is such a kind person and so curious, and it's inspirational, but in the best way, not in a hokey way, in a really authentic way, and I think that's what I so appreciate about it.
Joe, you just summarized all of my thoughts around this audiobook. And I want to say that you are an expert because you've interviewed Brad Meltzer in the past. In fact, there's an episode on Behind the Mic where you spoke to Brad and Golden Voice narrator Scott Brick, who's narrated a lot of Brad's books. That was in 2023. And Brad is, he's just an incredible human. And as you said, we're going to do a little sound clip in a minute. And I think the idea of reflecting gratitude and all of us just thinking about the passage of time makes this a timeless listen.
I agree. So this is Make Magic. It's written and read by Brad Meltzer.
But some things are unexplainable. They're just magic. As a writer, that's my job, making things appear out of thin air. So that's what I'd like to discuss today: how to make magic. Of course, that sounds absurd. Real magic doesn't exist. But when you ask professional magicians, they'll tell you there are actually only 4 types of magic tricks. That's it. Put aside illusions and escapes, there are just 4 types of tricks. 1. You make something appear. 2. You make something disappear. 3. You make 2 things switch places. And finally, number 4, you change one thing into something else.
I think that snippet just gives you a sense of kind of the way Brad approaches this. He's not being preachy or sermony. He basically is sharing observations and also wishes for his son.
Yes, Joe, it's lovely.
It really is lovely. I think it's a wonderful recommendation. So thank you for that. That's Make Magic, written and read by Brad Meltzer. Okay, what are you listening to now?
Joe, I am listening to The Summer Guests, The Martini Club Book 2 by Tess Gerritsen, read by Hillary Huber.
I've listened to that book. It is so good.
I agree, Joe. I agree 100%. I picked this title because I love Hillary Huber. She can narrate in a way that really makes you feel like you're listening to an entire cast of characters narrated by different voices. She is so skilled. And Tess Gerritsen is a Maine author, and we'll remind our listeners that AudioFile magazine is based in Portland, Maine.
Yes, it is. And okay, so just briefly, what's sort of the plot of this book?
So this title is about a group of retired CIA agents. And in this particular book in the series, they are solving or working to solve a case about a missing girl in Maine.
Yes, exactly, and they retired in Maine, and somehow they can't quite stay retired.
Yes.
That's the whole thing, and it's wonderful, and these combination of accents, you have the regional accents of the Mainers, and then the accents of the elite summer folks, and then there are the members of the Martini Club, these ex-CIA people.
Yes, and I think I can say, since we've both listened to this title, I haven't finished it yet, and I continue to guess and wonder and think about what's happening in this audiobook. I can't wait to finish it.
It's just so much fun, and I'm not gonna say another word, let's just listen to it. Do you have to set this up? What are we listening to?
So this little portion, Joe, is Susan, one of the characters, her mother-in-law, her husband Ethan, and her daughter are all driving to Maine, and Susan is remembering meeting her late father-in-law for the first time. They're on their way for a memorial.
Okay, this is The Summer Guests. It's book 2 of The Martini Club by Tess Gerritsen, read by Hilary Huber.
They drove north to Maine with George Conover packed in the trunk. Susan thought it more than a little disrespectful having her late father-in-law's cremated remains wedged in alongside their suitcases. But no one else in the family had objected, so why should she be bothered? She had scarcely known the man, had met him only 3 years ago, when Ethan first introduced Susan and her daughter Zoe to his parents. George had been polite enough, but he'd also been coolly distant, a blazer and boat shoes Bostonian who seemed to be reserving judgment on these 2 new additions to his family until they could prove themselves worthy of the Conover name.
Yeah, well, meet the Conovers, what a family. Whew! And she does such a good job of setting up those family dynamics too. I mean, and, I think Tess Gerritsen is a very, very accomplished writer, and Hilary is so good at just embodying all these characters.
Absolutely. And Hillary is a delight in person as well. I've had the lucky pleasure of spending in person time with Hillary.
Yeah, she's wonderful, and that is, fabulous, fabulous, especially now, it's a great listen for spring, summer. That's The Summer Guests, The Martini Club, Book 2 by Tess Gerritsen, read by Hilary Huber. Okay, so what is next on your listen list?
Joe, my listen list takes us from graduation season into wedding season, which is exactly where we are in the
Oh.
calendar right now. I have queued up A Proposal to Die For by Molly Harper, read by Amanda Ronconi.
So tell me a little bit about this. What intrigues you about it? Why do you wanna listen?
Well, the first reason I picked the book is, as I just said, it's wedding season. And I love weddings. I love this time of the year. I myself got married in June, so I was a June bride. And this is a
Aw.
fast paced mystery. And the main character is Jess, and she is the wedding proposal planner that can make anything happen. And so the combination of a dead body and her ability to pull off any kind of proposal, the sound clip just swept me away.
Okay, well, let's listen.
This sound clip is just a cute little moment looking inside the workings of Jess's proposal work before her client unveils a big wedding ask.
This is A Proposal to Die For by Molly Harper, read by Amanda Ronconi.
One never knew when a comically oversized resin clam was going to come in handy. And Jess Bricker happened to know a guy who could procure one for her on short notice. That was why nervous prospective spouses paid Jess top dollar to find rare items like this, items that were somehow vital to their marriage proposals, and then get the hell out of the way.
I have to say that, at least in this excerpt, her voice doesn't quite do it for me, but I love the premise. A great combination of, a little bit of romance, a little bit of mystery, and then you have the awful bride.
I will report back, Joe, because this is one of my first times listening to Amanda Ronconi narrate.
Okay, so you let me know how it goes, but it sounds like a great premise.
Thanks, Joe. This has been a wonderful session talking about Earphones Awards and narrators new and favorite.
Exactly. Thank you, Laura. It's always a pleasure. Thank you so much, and I'll talk to you next month.
Thank you, Joe.
This has been a bonus edition of Behind the Mic. You've just heard our Earphones Roundup with Laura Rossi. Support for Behind the Mic comes from Dreamscape, the publisher of The Tenant, by #1 New York Times bestselling author Frida McFadden, narrated by Will Dameron and Christine Lakin. Discover your next great listen at dreamscapepublishing.com. Behind the Mic is produced by Jessica Lockhart, Robin Whitten, Michelle Cobb, Stephen Cummings, Leslie Fine, Alan Minskoff, Alex Ritchie, Laura Rossi, and Kendra Winchester are our contributors. Jennifer Dahl and Coco McCracken are our editors. And the music is William Ross Chernoff's Nomads 4-Way. And I'm your host, Joe Reed. Good listening.